Jamie Vaskey, Roger Reed, and Zach McCool.
High school wrestling is on the air from the state duels inside the Wells Fargo Arena. It is 2015 State Dual Wrestling Tournament. Good morning, everybody, along with Roger Reed and former West Delaware State champion Zach McCool. Jamie Vaskey with you here as we get you set for first round action as the Independence Mustangs will take on the Creston Orient Maxburg Panthers. As these two teams, a little history between them as they wrestled in the third and fourth place match of these state duels 1 year ago, and Independence won that duel 29-28. Guys, good morning. Roger, I'm not going to steal your line, but I tell you what, it's a great morning to be here at the Wells Fargo Arena.
Well, it's always a great morning to be here, Jamie, when you can see great teams battle it out in one of the finest sports there is, and that's wrestling. And since they moved the state duels to Wednesday, it's provided a lot of excitement. And I enjoy it, we enjoy it, and we're happy to be here.
Well, we're going to start at weight class 120 as up for the Mustangs is going to be Mitch Evans. He's a senior, 33-8. He's taking on Trevor Marlin, who's a sophomore at 27-23, and Evans out with a quick takedown. He leads at 2-0, 1:30 left to go in this first period.
Jamie, Mitch Evans was just short of qualifying for the state meet, so this is his state meet. So look for Mitch to provide a spark for the Mustangs, and should be a great first-round match. A lot of matches by Martin. His 51st match of the year is 27-23, so it should be a good match. And with a nice front headlock to a cross knee pick was Evans. Now an inside wrist on the right. He's going to roll it out to the bar. He's in great shape so far. He'd like to start out this duel with a fall and get the Mustangs out to a good start. He's got a nice cradle right now. Let's see if he can dump. Well, he's getting back points right now. He's dumping Marlin to his back. Could be a fall right here with a nice cradle. And as Zach has got that in tight, he's got that bottom knee in. He's in great position so far.
He's got that knee. He's got to get that knee stuck in the side to keep moving to his backside. There it is. There's a fall.
There's the fall by Evans. Nice cradle. He adjusted himself and got his chest up on top. Recorded a fall in 111. That's going to put the Mustangs up early 6-0. And, Jamie, that's a great way to start it.
Well, it is. And, that's what we talked about. Coach Doyle talked about was, these guys are going to want to get them back after last year's duel. As, that's a good way to start it. These two teams have only wrestled once, and that was last year in these state duels, with Independence winning that duel 29-28. That was last year in the third and fourth place match. So a little bit of history here, not a whole lot, but the Mustangs looking to make it 2-0 this season against the Creston Orient Maxburg Panthers. As we move up to weight class 126, as for Independence, it's going to be Seth House, and for Creston, it's going to be Mitchell Swank.
Well, we've seen Seth House wrestle some very, very good matches. He's going to have to wrestle an outstanding match right here as Swank comes in at 35-14, and House is 20-25, and it's Swank out early with a nice Kelly on House. Didn't get any back points out of it, but he picked up a 2-point takedown. So did a nice job to see if he cuts House loose or if he's going to decide to wrestle him on the mat. Jamie, these guys came in to town last night. They had to stay overnight in the motel, get up early this morning, and start wrestling at 9 o'clock. A little bit different schedule than usual.
Yeah, it is. And, they come in and they got to weigh in yet as well. So, coming in here and getting that early morning weigh in and getting ready to go here this morning is what these guys had to do, and they're ready to wrestle.
There was a one-point escape by House as he stands up and splits the hands of Swank. And Swanks basically just gave him a shove loose, and we're going to go back to our feet wrestling with 1:09 left to go in the second period. You're just joining us. This is 2015 state dual meet of wrestling action with the Independence Mustangs taking on the Creston Orient Maxburg Panthers from South Central Iowa. Zach House doing a nice job of some hand control right now, keeping Swank away.
Yeah, absolutely. I want him to continue to move his feet a little bit more. He's still standing a little bit flat-footed, but doing a nice job of getting hand control, not allowing him to take a shot on him.
Well, late in the season, Jamie and I noticed that the Mustangs were a lot of them were in that square stance, Jamie, and that caused some teams some fits. They didn't move a lot, but they stayed in great position and did a nice job with hand control. Just like right there, Swank had a nice shot, and House did a nice job down blocking and pushing him away. Back to action we go. 26 seconds left. Swank hanging on to a 2-0 lead, or excuse me, a 2-1 lead. Weight class 132. House trying to set up a shot. He had a low shot. There's a nice double by House. He's in deep. Let's see if he can elevate Swank. Scramble positions. Got Swank lifted up off the mat. We might get potentially dangerous. Swank around the stomach and off the edge of the mat. That's a great shot by House, Zach.
That's what he needs to continue to do, is get deep in those shots and just finish this time.
4 seconds left to go. First period, 2-1. Swank lead. And let's see whose choice is going to be. It's going to be House's choice. I think you got to go back down or defer. Go back down, tie it up, and then you're back on your feet again. Independence with 4 state qualifiers, 3 champs, and 1 runner-up. Creston with 9 state qualifiers, 7 champs, and 2 runners-up. So they've got a bevy of outstanding wrestlers. And ranked number 5, though. Independence came in ranked number 4. So we'll see what happens. Long shot by Swank. Nicely countered by House with a nice down block. 2-2. There's a shot to the outside by House and missed that, Zach. And that was an easy go behind by Swank.
Yep, House right there in that situation just shot with his head down and completely missed the legs. And Swank went right beside him and got behind the arms.
Pretty easy defense right there when you miss the leg. Nice stand up by House. He didn't clear hands. Front trip by Swank. Chicken wing now by Swank on the left side of House. He's trying to run it inside wrist on the right. Chicken wing on the left. And House doing a nice job keeping his chest flat over the top now by by Swank. House trying to find the edge of the mat, and he does, and off the edge we go. 1:02 left to go. House has to get back to his feet, work some hand control, and wrestle neutral. Right, there's a set. And back to action we go. Sit out, switch attempt by House, tight waist by Swank, hard cross face by Swank from right to left. Down inside wrist on the left by Swank. House belly down right in the center of Jamie. Notice the mat they're on old Big Red there right in front of us.
It's way too early in the week for you to be starting that, Roger.
It's never too early. They always plop Big Red right in front of us, and that's easy, mat. It's all red, white rings around it, so it's easy for us to spot. The thing I like about it, it's easy to see our wrestlers right there. Stalling now against Swank for riding on top and not getting out to the side. So 31 seconds left to go. Sit out, turn in. Zach, that was a nice sit out, but House didn't clear his arm.
Roger, these are some pretty experienced freshman wrestlers right here going at it right now. I expect these guys to make some noise later on down the road and stay wrestling here. But these guys are fighting hard here for their team, and they're doing a nice job of keeping some motion going and to get their own win here.
Well, we've seen Seth House wrestle some very tough people very, very well, and he's doing that right now. Swank is 35-14. So it's going to be Swank's choice. He's going to choose down. And you got to be thinking, if you're Coach Doyle, this is one of those matches where you're not really favored, but if you can come out of here, not giving up huge points, that's a bonus for the Mustangs.
Roger, you always talk about not giving up bonus points here. So, that's what I think this meet's going to come down to is, bonus points, first match right out of the bat. Independence got a pin with some extra bonus points there. And now we got to try to keep it from getting bonus points by major decisions in Tech Falls.
Well, and that's Mitch Swank, first-time freshman, right down here at the state tournament. So they have a little jitters, and House is the same situation. First time as a freshman wrestling here. So got a couple of freshmen going at it. So we'll see if Swank continues to build that lead. He's up 5-2. You're a couple of takedowns away from a major decision. There's a shot, reshot now. Shot by House, reshot by Swank. Again, no penetration, and Swank is just content to wrestle. No pushing there. Swank has been warned for stalling, so if you're Seth House, you got to push the tempo here. Neutral position, now collar tie. Tap and go by House, and on a double underhook by Swank. He pulls House back up to his feet, and back to neutral we go. 51 seconds left. Third period, again, Independence is up. There's a nice short arm drag by House in on a single. and Swank squares off with him and shoves him loose. There's going to be 1 point by Stalling.
Taking a look at some other scores here, as Clarion Goldfield leading Woodbury Central 5-0. That's Class 1A. Also in 1A, Lisbon leading Don Bosco 3-0 after a one win. As we look down, and Mitchell Swank picking up another takedown on Seth House. That's going to make it 7-3 in favor of Mitchell Swank. Also in Class 1A, Dyke New Hartford with a 3-0 lead over Alburnett. And the last 1A score, Logan Magnolia leading Southeast Warren 11-0. Other Class 2A scores, it's 6-0 Clear Lake leading Union. And New Hampton leading Davenport Assumption 5-0. And Mediapolis 18-0 over Central Lyon George Little Rock.
Well, that's going to do it right there as time runs out. So Seth House will drop a 7-3 decision to Mitchell Swank. So that will be a 3-point win for Creston. And our score now is 6-3. So we'll see. Looking at our chart here, going to weight class 132. Wyatt Thompson, 32-12, or Mason Kinsella at 7-5. Going to take on Drew Davis.
And Drew Davis, state qualifier for the Mustangs. Here as we see these two come up here at weight class 138. Again, it's 6-3. Independence leading. It's Drew Davis. He's a junior, 25-14. Wyatt Thompson, a junior, at 31-12. We mentioned Drew Davis is a state qualifier. And a state qualifier also is Wyatt Thompson.
We got two guys going at it again. Sometimes, Jamie and Jack, sometimes coaches will shy away from having their state qualifiers wrestle here, but we talked on the way down. I think it's a good thing. You know, you get a shot at them, and if things don't go your way, you get another shot at them. You got a chance for a little redemption.
I'll take a look and see if where these two are on the bracket.
Thompson is a junior, and Davis is a junior. Again, Creston 17-0 in duels, has not dropped a duel. Independence 18-5. Elbow pass by Thompson, misses short, and off the edge of the mat goes Davis. So Davis has to pick up the pace here. Very physical-looking Wyatt Thompson down there, Zach. You know, he's put together for a 32-pounder.
Yeah. Roger and Jamie, you both noticed that both the coaches went to the head table to check to see who was actually going to wrestle this match here. So I know both of the coaches are thinking, who's going to wrestle and what kind of matchup are we looking at?
Well, you're right. These dual meets are all about getting the best matchup you can, and sometimes, you know, your lineup may look different. There's a nice double leg, outstanding double leg by Drew Davis as he got in. That was a double leg blast there. He got that head right in the sternum, Zach, and picked Franklin up, Thompson up, and I'll tell you what, set him right on his backside. That was a double leg blast.
Totally just overpowered him there. He looked really strong in that situation right there and drove right through his legs.
Now stand up by Thompson as Davis drops down to an inside single. And he's going to try to backtrip. Probably going to get stalling against Davis. He's going to have to decide to let him go or cut him loose. And he's going to get a warning for stalling, and then he's going to cut Thompson loose. Let's see if he can cut up. And you hate to see that short time left in that period. You give up 1 point.
Not only that, Roger, but he also gave up a stalling call holding that leg up in the air. So he should have let go of it earlier, not to get that stall call, or actually dump him to the ground there and make sure that he didn't get that stall call.
You're exactly right. It's going to be Creston's choice, so he's going to defer. He's going to defer over to Davis. And Davis will choose down to start the second period. Great match against a couple of outstanding kids. Jamie, what did you find out?
Both state qualifiers. They're on opposite sides of the bracket. Actually, Thompson will face the first place. He faces the first place guy from our district in Chase Leinert.
Okay, so a good match there. All right, Thompson up on top, right in a tight waist with the right, a head lever on the left side. Davis has to get to his feet. Now ball and chain. Thompson working on a ball and chain. He's got the left arm of Davis trapped between his legs. And tell you what, Davis could be in a world of hurt here as Thompson goes to that body press. 1:17 left to go. Davis has to keep his chest down. We're going to call potentially dangerous. Nice call by our official. Tell you what, Davis cannot let Thompson control his waist and his wrists like that.
You know, and I think we continue to talk about this too in high school wrestling. Is some guys are pretty lucky that there's no, riding time because there is a lot of guys getting rode out right now. That 1 minute riding time would be huge if they're in college wrestling. So, these guys got to start thinking about jumping off the whistle and getting out of the bottom instead of sitting there and waiting for things to happen.
There's a nice inside stand-up by Davis. He didn't clear his left arm. And Thompson up on top trying to tilt. And Davis is going to have to go off base here as he is spread out wide, both legs wide, right arm posted on the mat. Thompson now with a bump forward has Davis back down on the mat, 53 seconds. Hey, if you're going to choose down, Jamie and Zach, you got to make sure you score from that position.
Well, you do, and that's the reason you chose down is to get that point and try to build on your lead here. But Drew Davis has got to get going. He's up to his feet, got to get hand control. Nice job. He picks up the escape and goes up 3-1 here. But again, he can't sit on this lead because he's been warned for stalling.
That's right. I'd like to see him shoot another one of those double leg blasts as he was quick. They tried it right there. He bumped up. He bumped Thompson. Thompson now in on a reshot. Got Davis in trouble, and he's going to pick up 2. So we're tied up at 3s, and we're going to go to the third period. 17 seconds left to go. Davis is going to have to score here. The referee's going to let him wrestle on the edge of the mat. And Thompson's doing a nice job just holding him there. And now stand up by Davis. Thompson drops in. There's a 1-point escape. Great job. 4 seconds left. Davis picks up a 1-point escape. And now he's going to go 4-3 into the third period. And it's going to be Thompson's choice, and he's going to choose down.
Roger, right in that situation, both coaches were talking about to the wrestlers about getting off the mat when they're wrestling them on the side of the mat. I think, Doyle right there realized that was actually a good situation since he got that escape with 5 seconds left.
And we've talked about we've seen some wrestlers let up on the edge of the mat and get scored upon. And Jamie and I have talked during the course of the year how long it will be before the high school adopts the college rule of continuing to wrestle with just a part of your body, and probably won't. But anyway, it'd be nice to see. 1:41 left to go. Thompson choosing down. Spiral ride by Davis. Inside the thigh with the left. Under the arm. Might get referees talking to both wrestlers about going. Davis now trying to set up a cradle. I think he's got it locked up. He had it locked up, and then Thompson forward. Thompson's going to pick up a 2-point reversal. Thompson's got a 2-point reversal as he threaded his right leg inside the left leg of Davis. Now he's got that chalice locked up. We saw, I think it was Creston, Jamie, used that a lot at the district. There's a snapback by Thompson, no back points. That was close. It's a 5-4 lead now by Thompson on Davis with 1:01 left to go in this match. So Davis has some work to do. I feel like Davis can get back to his feet, but he's got to be able to take Thompson down.
Yeah, I think that's where Davis wants to be, is on his feet. So we got to get him up and get him out here so he can hit that drive double.
Well, here we go. 56 seconds left to go. Outside stand-up attempt by Davis. A chop and a tight waist by Thompson. Drew Davis has to get moving here. This is a match where Independence thought they had a shot to win it. Long switch by Davis. Now it comes to a stand-up. He's got to split the hands. He's got to split the hands of Thompson. Thompson trying to lift. Might get a stalling against Thompson. Thompson drops down to a double.
He's still stalling. I mean, he hasn't improved at all.
Davis is going to kick free. It's tied up 5-5 with a 1-point escape. We're going to settle this thing on our feet. Great job. Great job by Drew Davis.
This will be an opportunity where Davis is going to have to go back and, he got caught flat-footed in that last go when they were on their feet, and Thompson picked up a takedown. So you got to be careful here if you're Drew Davis and go back to work on your feet.
Well, Thompson's been really good on that reshot. Davis tries to come in on that blast double, and it's kind of a half a shot. Then Thompson has done a fine job on that reshot. We got 9 seconds. Now don't give up a cheap one right here. 9 seconds. If you're Drew Davis, don't shoot yourself out of a match. This thing is going to go to overtime. Again, 2. Oh, there's a nice knee pick by Davis. A little too late. Well, he had it, Zach.
Davis has just got to continue to not stay flat-footed after he takes a shot. You know, he's taking pretty good shots and staying active, but then he's not waiting. He's, you know, getting after that reshot is coming back at him, and he's not ready for it.
So here we go, 53 seconds, sudden victory right here. First takedown win. There's an elbow pass attempt by Davis. But I think if he uses that, he's working the head now. A couple of snaps on the head of Thompson. Thompson content to tie it up with Davis. There's an elbow pass by Thompson, nicely countered by Davis as he squares off. There's a shot by Thompson on single. Quarter Nelson by Davis. He's got Thompson in trouble. Let's see if he can hit it. He's got to circle the legs. Thompson's a hold of the right leg of Davis. Davis trying to cut the corner on Thompson. Davis now reaches back.
That's two.
Get the ball. Get the ball. There's two. Get the ball. Referee blew the whistle. The referee blew the whistle. The referee inadvertently blew the whistle on the takedown. Davis had Thompson going to his back. And I'm not kidding, they didn't let him finish it, guys. They did not let Davis finish that. Unbelievable. He had a quarter Nelson. That's a pinning combination.
He was on his back getting ready to give up the fall.
Unbelievable. Holy mackerel, sports fans.
Yeah, that.
Wow.
What I don't.
If Independence loses this by 3.
Well, and I'd like to see what his explanation was to the Independence coaching staff, because.
Well, you can look at Coach Doyle. You can tell what his explanation was. Wow.
Huh.
Holy cow, guys. That was a beautiful quarter Nelson by Drew Davis. And he just kept going with it and circled around Thompson. Had Thompson going to his back. Let him finish the match with a fall.
Well, we got a second as we move on to our next match at weight class 138. This state dual coverage for the Independence Mustangs brought to you by Adams Family Furniture, Bank Iowa, Bodensteiner Implement, and Brown Sales and Leasing. Proud sponsors of the Independence Mustangs in the 2015 state dual tournament. As we move up to weight class 138, we're going to have Tanner Erickson Dale, the sophomore for Independence. He's 14-22. He's taking on Spencer Ray, a senior from Creston Orient Maxburg. He's a 25-2.
Yeah, and he's a pretty tough cookie, gentlemen. Tanner Erickson Dale is going to have to wrestle his best match to stay in this thing. Sporting that, Creston sporting their the white singlets, red singlets with the white lettering and the black piping. And they've got the red leg bands on today. Independence in their maroon and white singlets. The big eye on the left leg. And 1:11 left to go. Nice job by Dale so far, but there's an inside single by Ray. Got in, covered up the hips of Dale, slapped the chicken wing on the right side. A nice stand up by Tanner Erickson Dale. And this is one with Tanner Erickson Dale. You know, you're not favored here, Jamie and Zach. You just can't give up the big points.
Well, you can. And, looking at it, Spencer Ray is a state qualifier for Creston. As he comes in here, he's Spencer Ray is on the top side of the bracket. Tanner Erickson Dale, not a state qualifier, but, a tough opponent here for Tanner Erickson Dale.
Well, you're exactly right. He's got a tilt on Erickson Dale. He's going to pick up 1,001. No back points yet. Nice counter by Erickson Dale as he rolled across his back and then off, and then across his back and off again. Chicken wing on the right by Ray. Got it locked up. Tanner Erickson Dale doing a really, really good job of keeping his chest down, keeping his hips down, and now Ray's going to cut the wing loose and go back to work. I'm surprised Ray hasn't let him up. And Jamie, we've talked about this a lot. You Ray's up 2-0, is expending a lot of energy with no back points to show for it. But good, that's a good thing for Tanner Erickson Dale.
Yeah, and it is. And, now you got to go back to work and stay off your back here if you're Erickson Dale.
Doing a nice job so far. No back points. First period, he survived the rush of Spencer Ray's. He's only down 2-0. A nice defensive work underneath by the sophomore Erickson Dale.
Again, the Mustangs leading this duel right now, 9-3. A fall by Mitch Evans at 120 is where we started. Weight class 126, it was Seth House losing 7-3 against Mitchell Swank. At 132, Drew Davis with a 7-5 win in overtime has our match at 9-3 in favor of Independence.
Well, there's a 1-point escape by Ray, and he's quickly in on a single. Head to the inside single, and he picks up the right leg of Erickson Dale. Front trips, covers up the hips. It's now quickly 5-0 in the second period. And Ray working on a hard tilt again. Ray does a very, very nice job of controlling hips. Very, very nice job of controlling hips. And Erickson Dale's going to have to create some space, Zach, so he can get his hips out.
Erickson Dale's doing a very nice job of keeping his hands out front, though. You know, not allowing wings very often here. Trying to stay square and stay off his back.
Take a look at some other scores from around the match. Class 2A, Clear Lake leading Union 10-6. Davenport Assumption leading New Hampton 9-5. Mediapolis is on top of Central Lyon right now, 40-0 over on mat number 8. In Class 1A, Clarion Goldfield leading Woodbury Central 17-6. Don Bosco trails Lisbon 8-6 right now. Logan Magnolia with a 1-point lead right now over Southeast Warren. And Alburnett, I believe.
Number 5, it's Clear Lake 10, Union 6.
Alburnett is over on mat number 4. I don't have them.
3.
Mat 3?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not.
They're taking on the Dyke New Hartford. That's going to be very interesting. Dyke has come on
At
strong.
number 6, it's Independence 9.
So,
Creston Max.
all right, back to action. We're here in 37 seconds left in the second period. There's a double underhook by Ray, and he's going to pancake Dale to his back. So he's picking up some back points right here. Ray will not get the fall. He's going to pick up 2 back, and then a 1-point escape by Erickson Dale, making the score 9-1 now. So Ray working on 9-2 after that second escape by Erickson Dale. 14 seconds left to go. Spencer Ray working on a major decision. Working on a major decision. So Creston trying to pick up their first bonus points of the duel. There's a long single by Ray in deep again on the right side of Erickson Dale. Erickson Dale with the hard whizzer. 4 seconds left to go. Don't want to give up that takedown, and he gave up that takedown with 0 time left on the clock. Just to, want to hang on to that whizzer just a little bit longer.
Yeah, you do. And, right now, if you're Tanner Erickson Dale, you got to try to get yourself back in this match. Right now, you're down 9 points. That's a major decision. So you really got to try to work here, and if you do give up a major, make sure that's all you give up. Don't give up that tech fall or that fall.
So 153, Dale's going to choose down, and Spencer Ray goes right back to work with a hard chop, tight waist with the left, chop with the right, trying to work a wing, trying to work an inside wrist. He's got an inside wrist on the right, half Nelson on the left. Erickson Dale doing a nice job staying square, but he's got to get his hips up so he doesn't get worn for stalling. Inside wrist now. There's going to be a 1-point escape by Erickson Dale. Now it's 11-3. So we'll see if Erickson Dale can work. There's a go behind by, that's a nice snap and spin by Erickson Dale, but on the edge of the mat. Ray came in with that long shot, snap and a go behind by Erickson Dale, showing a little bit of his quickness. 1:24 left to go. Third period, weight class 138. Seen some outstanding wrestling so far. There's a snap and spin by Erickson Dale. See if he can cut the corner, and he misses the corner. And he falls off the top, and Spencer Ray's going to cover his hips and pick up a 2-point takedown, 13-3. Inside wrist on the left, half Nelson on the right by Ray. Sit out, turn in by Dale, and off the edge of the mat they go. Restart. And a 1-point optional release there by Ray. Ray's thinking tech fall right here, so if you're Erickson Dale, you got to tie those wrists up.
Yeah, I think Ray is kind of realizing that he's not going to get the fall on him, so now he's just going to go after the tech fall.
Okay, there's a 1-point escape by Erickson Dale and another 2-point takedown by Spencer Ray. It's 17-5 with 38 seconds left to go. So inside wrist now by Ray. Inside wrist. Now he's got Erickson Dale going to his back. And it could be a fall. Roughly looking close. There's the fall. 5:33. Spencer Ray. And again, Jamie and Zach, we talked about, when a guy starts letting you up and taking you down, how mentally that takes you right out of the match. And Ray took Erickson Dale out of what started as a close match, and then he got the fall by doing it.
He did, and when you're going down and getting let back up, and you're the one taking the brunt of that. It's very exhausting on you, and you're trying to do what you can to keep yourself up, but there's nothing you really can do. Eventually you're just going to wear down, and you breaking your opponent basically is what the guy scoring the points is trying to do.
Well, we're going to move up to weight class 145, and Creston right in the middle of these weights from about 126 to about 170. Creston's pretty tough. So Independence is trying to balance that toughness with some really good wrestling here. Weight class 138, we got Joey Huntington. He's a junior from Creston. He's taking on Elliott Ryan. He's a junior. Ryan is 27 and 20. And out early is Huntington with that inside single, and quickly out to a tilt on Ryan. So Ryan will have his work cut out for him to do as Huntington steps in with a Turk now. He's trying to go cross face from right to left, from right side to left side shoulder. And Ryan does a nice job freeing that Turk, but a hard cross face now by Huntington. Huntington trying to set up a cradle. So Ryan's got to weather the storm here and try to get back to his feet, maybe a reversal to close the gap in this match.
Roger, that's what you talk about as a team also, is trying to weather the storm here also. Don't let a snowball effect. Don't let one loss from Fort Payne get into a winning, round for you here. So we got to make sure that, Independence continues to stay off their back, don't give up bonus points here and try to weather the storm with some of their best guys coming through this lineup.
Well, Elliott Ryan doing a nice job right now with some hand control as Huntington lets him up to his feet. And then we can see what Creston, what they're trying to do right now is work their magic on their feet, work their offense from their feet. There's a high crotch by Huntington, turns it into a fireman's carry, and he's got Elliott Ryan posted, and Ryan's got to stay long here. Nice job by Ryan. He fought off that fireman's carry. I'd like to see him hit that front headlock from right there, but he missed it. And back to the feet they go. 25 seconds left to go. Huntington doing a nice job with the collar tie, really working that head of Elliott Ryan. Ryan, a very tall, lanky 145-pounder, so if he can use that length and leverage to his advantage, it certainly would help. 8 seconds left to go. Neutral position. There's a single by Huntington off the edge of the mat. We're going to get warning against Ryan for backing out.
Joey Huntington, a state qualifier for Creston. As mentioned, he's his record 39. Well, after that, 41-7 is the record for Huntington.
Well, that's an awfully good season. Anytime you win it, Zach and Jay, we talked about, it used to be if you win 25 matches, you're having a great season. Now it's 40 or 45.
You look at Ryan Parmalee and some of these kids that I think Ryan Parmalee is 52-0 right now, or 50-0, and Max Thompson is 52-0, and I mean, just some outstanding, just unbelievable records that they've stayed undefeated, but that many matches is incredible.
Elliott
Would
Ryan,
you go 40-0?
Elliott Ryan with a nice stand up right here. Or excuse me, he's got a cradle. Huntington came with a stand up, and Ryan locked him back. Ryan has Huntington on his back in a cradle. Get down there, Mr. Official. That is tight. This could be a fall right here. Ryan with
you hear the
Huntington
Indy
in a
crowd
cradle.
yelling,
You bet.
boom.
Ryan's got that cradle in deep. It's a hard cross-face cradle. He's got his bottom knee in the side. He's on the left side of Huntington. He's trying to use that bottom knee to use that bottom knee in the side. He's going to pick up 3. He's going to take a lead 4-2, and he's going to lock it up again. He's got that cross-face cradle locked up one more time, and let's see if he can take Huntington back. Huntington slides his right arm out this time, so if you're Ryan, you got to be careful here.
Uh-oh.
So that doesn't happen right there. Ryan tried to take Huntington to his back, and he's going to give up a 2-point reversal. So, boy, he got that crossface cradle, and Huntington worked that arm out, and he still tried to run it. That's one of those no-nos. So we're tied up at 4s with 26 seconds left to go. I like what Elliott Ryan is doing with that cradle, using his length. But you got to tighten that up. You got to stay hip to hip. You got to keep that tight. 4 4s are scored. 12 seconds left to go. And I'm not sure whose choice it's going to be. We're going to get warning against Ryan. Oh, that brings Independence. Unbelievable. Guys, they called Elliott Ryan for stalling on the bottom with 7 seconds left. Huntington had a deep thigh ride with an inside wrist across Ryan's stomach. Now tell me, who's stalling?
How are you supposed to be able to move and get to your base when you got tight waist, your arm underneath you, and a thigh right in?
Very, very difficult. Well, there's that stand-up by Huntington again. Ryan tries to slap a cradle on him. And Huntington's going to split the hands of Ryan, and he's going to pick up a 1-point escape. It's now 6-4. 1:39 left to go. Single by Huntington is in deep. Got his head in between the legs of Ryan. Ryan trying to counter that around the middle with a gut wrench. And we're going to get a stalemate. That was a quick stalemate, but Ryan will take it. 1:26 left to go. Need a takedown by Elliott Ryan. A takedown and some back points to get him back in this match. Oh, so close to a fall by Elliott Ryan with that very tough cradle. Now he's got to find a takedown that's going to work. Nice single. There's a shot. Single to the right side of Huntington, but he stopped right there. He's got to finish it. He's got to pull that knee in and finish it. Hard down block by Huntington. He's got Elliott Ryan belly down. Might get a stalemate here. Ryan's got to get his knees up. If he got his knees up, he's got an opportunity to finish this shot. 54 seconds left. And there's our stalemate. Great shot, Zach and Jamie. Just stopped on the bottom and didn't finish it.
And we've seen that a lot. You know, you get in there, you got to finish right away. You know, I know a kid hits down hard and sprawls on you, but you got to keep pounding your knees and keep trying to get your hips underneath you and finish a shot. Come up and finish.
Well, let's get into that time where a shot is going to be huge right here. Takedown is going to be huge for Ryan. A takedown will tie this up. There's a nice shot by Ryan. He's in deep on a single. He's got to finish it. A hard down block by Huntington. 29 seconds left to go. Huntington now reaches over the top of Ryan and grabs that left ankle. He's got Ryan flat out on his stomach again for a 2-point takedown. And it's going to be an 8-4 lead now by Huntington with 13 seconds left to go in the match. So the junior from Creston is going to get the job done here. I'm telling you what, that was a great match by Elliott Ryan, gentlemen. It's so close to having a fall with that great crossface cradle.
Elliott Ryan did a nice job of having the pace the entire match. He was the one getting after it on shots, putting in pinning combinations and things like that. But Huntington just, capitalized on his mistakes. He tried to dump a guy with a cradle with his arm out and things like that. He capitalized on his mistakes. So that was a very, very good match by Ryan there. Unfortunately, came out on the wrong end.
Well, Independence is still going to have a 9-3, or what's our score,
It's
Jamie?
12-9 in favor of
Creston. 12-9. Thank you. I just like hearing you say it.
Just a reminder to the winning teams for this.
Well, if you've got a stopper in your lineup, here's a good one for Independence. Top-ranked Chase Straw. And he's going to be taking on Cameron Leaf, who's 29-18. So, tell you what, Independence could use a fall here to get the sleeve back on their side. 12-9. Again, Creston taking the lead. Independence coming out strong, opening this duel up with a fall. And now they certainly would like to see Chase Straw put another 6 on the Mustang scoreboard. 1-point escape by Leaf as Straw lets him go. There's a nice double by Straw in slick. Nice Turk by Straw. He climbs the body of Leaf. Let's see if he can turn this into some back points. And Leaf is going to cover up. Somebody's got a contact. Chase Straw's got a contact out. We saw that Saturday, Jamie.
Usually he just puts them back in. I think he's going to get rid of this one.
He's going to pass it over. Pass it over to the coaching staff there at Independence, and he's going to wrestle with one clear eye and one eye that's a little bit cloudy. I don't think that'll matter, though. 1:09 left to go. 4-1. Straw up, looking for more. And I'm sure he's going to cut Leaf up. So cut Leaf up. Leaf's going to sit out and turn in, and Straw's going to go around the head and try to hit him with that cow catcher. And Leaf backs out. And 1 point escape. Shot by Straw. Down block by Leaf. Reshot by Leaf. Counter by Straw. Head and arm now by Leaf. Nice Kelly. Nice Kelly by Chase Straws. He's going to pick up a 2-point takedown at 6-2. 37 seconds left. That was pretty slick and pretty smooth.
Yeah, his third takedown of the match so far, and there's still 30 seconds left to go. But like you said, and that's what good wrestlers do. They'll fake one shot and they continue to switch off moves. And he switched right to that Kelly and hit it very smooth and picks up a 2-point takedown. Not looking for a fall here.
Well, and he's going to get it as he came with an inside wrist on the right, scooped it out to a bar, circled the head of Leaf. He might run out of time. He's got 8 seconds left. Leaf on a high bridge, wiggling back and forth. Straw teeing out nicely, but I think he's going to run out of time. Oh, Independence fans below are saying, where's the fall? That's one thing, Jamie, we've seen, Zach, maybe you haven't seen as much wrestling, but we've seen some inconsistencies in pin calling, some that are very, very quick, and then some that just want your shoulder blades buried. So it's just up to the wrestlers to know what official you've got and how they're going to call their falls.
Yeah, and some of these guys, they want you on the ice before they give you the fall. But some guys, some guys they do freestyle type calls where they just you hit your shoulders hit and they call the fall.
There's a little shuck by Leaf. He's going to pick up a 2-point takedown on Straw. Haven't seen that very often this year, but it's going to be a 2-point reversal. Straw gets it right back, then a hard cross face from right to left. Straw working on a cross face cradle. He's got it locked up. He steps over to the left side, goes hip to hip on Leaf. He's going to try to bump him with his hips and pull him back, and he's got Leaf in a cross face cradle working some back points here. 1:15 left to go. Nice cross face cradle. Independence has found this is the third cradle that they've used against Creston. We saw Drew Davis get a fall by a cradle, and Chase Straw working on a fall.
There it is.
His fall. There's the fall. Nice job by top-ranked Chase Straw, looking for 6, putting it back up for the Independence Mustangs.
That's probably the most secure cradle that you can get is that cross-face cradle, and that's what Independence is getting after right now. Tying up those arms. When they have some loose arms there, you get some dangerous positions with that cradle off to the side. So they got to make sure when they're in that cradle situation, though, to keep that thing tight and don't let those arms fly open.
So the second fall for the Mustangs, that's going to put them up 15-12 here as we move up to weight class 160. I'm not sure if we're going to see the matchup that we would expect to see here with Jake Jewell. And that is Jewell. Is this Schultz from Creston?
Creston, we're going to see when it pops up on our scorecard here. It's either going to be Chase Schultz. He's 25-0.
Yes, it is.
It is. So this is number 1 versus number 4.
Well, and Jamie, what I like about these coaches is they both know that it's important to get on that front side, and they're putting their best kids up. And, that's what it's about. And we're going to see a great matchup here with Schultz and Jewell. And again, Jake Jewell has been wrestling very, very tough these last 3 weeks. There's an inside single by Schultz in deep, a hard whizzer by Jewell. And Jewell keeps the whizzer in. Nice counter by Jake Jewell. Got to sit out. He's going to face Schultz. Boy, great counter by Jake Jewell. Schultz was in deep on that single, and he fought that off, Zach.
That was very nice. Looked very strong there. Jake Jewell looked, able to wing down on that whizzer there and keep him out of that leg.
And Schultz now down on 3. Tripod stand by Schultz. Looks like a football stance. And Jewell staying in that square stance. Again, Independence has switched up. We've seen them wrestle a lot in that square stance. And they do a nice job hitting that double off that square stance or sweep single. Inside single. Kelly attempt by Schultz. And a nice front headlock by Jewell with 50 seconds left to go. Let's see if we can get around the head of Schultz and cut a corner. Schultz is going to back up. Tap and go by Schultz. And Jewell is going to come back up and face him. Creston wrestlers are very, very physical looking. Well, they're all put together. They must have an outstanding weight program down there. They're all very physical looking. And here's another one of them in this senior. No, excuse me. Chase Schultz is only a sophomore, gentlemen. He's 25-0. Front headlock now by Schultz. Jewell doing a nice job keeping that elbow controlled, keeping the right elbow of Schultz controlled. He's going to continue to face him. Jewell tries to hit a short arm drag and drag Schultz out of it. 12 seconds left to go. And Schultz with that front headlock picking up Jewell and just kind of thumping his head a couple times on the mat. But Jake Jewell is staying square with him, and that's kind of what you got to do. So good job, Zach. Good job, Jamie, of Jake Jewell not giving up any points.
Absolutely. You know, one thing that Doyle, regardless of the outcome of this duel here, I think one thing in their team meeting before their next, duel here is something that he's going to talk to them about is probably not giving up points at the end of the periods. You see the Independence wrestlers kind of giving up with about 4 seconds left, even 0-1 time here. So that's something big that, Doyle's going to have to continue to talk to them about is keep wrestling all the way until you hear the final whistle to each period.
And that's a little thing, and that's a little thing that if you don't correct it, turns into a big thing, and don't want it to cost the Mustangs. Inside wrist now by Schultz on the left, double inside wrist, and Jewell does a nice job rolling that wrist out. Now Schultz takes the left arm of Jake Jewell, traps it underneath him, climbs the body now. Inside wrist on the left still. Now he goes to that Syracuse ride, inside wrist on the left, and into the thigh with the right. And he's bumping Jewell to his belly. There's our official again calling Jake Jewell for stalling. I'm telling you what, Jake Jewell's trying to build his base. And you got a guy right in that inside wrist, keeping that left shoulder down. That's hard to get up from.
I'm never a guy to talk about refereeing or anything like that. I haven't been in that situation, but it just seems a little bit inconsistent about how quick falls have been. The calls on stallings, it's just been inconsistent like you were talking about before. So maybe, just the timing of things and the way the guys are wrestling, maybe make it a little bit more consistent here.
Well, 34 seconds left to go, and Schultz had an inside wrist on the left and a half Nelson on the right. He tried to drive Jake Jewell over, and there's that ride right there. I'm sure Jake Jewell's not stalling here. He's trying to get his base, and that is just a bear cat to get out of. He's got an inside wrist, Schultz does, and he's got that left shoulder planted between the shoulder blades of Jake Jewell, keeping that chest down. It's a great ride. It's a physical ride, and it punishes people, but you can't only call the bottom guy for stalling.
Yeah, because there's nothing the bottom guy can do. You said it's a great ride because it basically immobilizes the bottom guy, and there's nothing, like you said, there's nothing he can do.
Well, that was a 2-minute ride out by Schultz. And now it's Schultz's choice to start the third, and he's going to choose down. And there's the whistle. Outside stand-up by Schultz. Jewell's going to drop in on a single. Still 0-0 is the score. Could have a 2-point reversal here by Schultz. Maybe a 2-point reversal and some back points. Might get a stalemate. Schultz is over the top of Jewell. He's going to try to pick up 2. Jewell's hanging on to the left leg of Schultz, Chase Schultz. And now Schultz is probably going to pick up 1. There's a 1-point escape. Now you got to be careful for Jewell. Don't want to give up 2. There's the first point of the match. 1:23 left to go in the match.
Roger and Jamie, that's not a bad situation right there. Jewell had to think about what was too long of riding and what was not enough, so that it gives him enough time to score 2 here instead of, giving 1 at the last second again. Now he's giving himself a minute here to try to score a takedown.
Well, neither wrestler trying to. Schultz now is very defensive-minded, and Jewell's got to pick up the pace. Jewell in that square stance, you got to score here, and you can't mess around. You can't wait around. You got 50 seconds left, and takedown. You're going to take the lead. Wrist control now by Jewell. He's got the right wrist. There's a snap attempt by Schultz, and Jewell squares him off. Now an underhook by Jewell on the right side of Schultz, and Jewell's going to snap him down with 30 seconds. Here's that situation. You practice in the wrestling room. You're down by 1 with 30 seconds left, and you got to get going. You need a takedown, and you got to push the tempo here.
Roger, we don't need ties here in this situation. We need shots, and right now that's all you're getting is some tie-ups. So hopefully continue. There's a stall call.
Gotta hurry.
A front headlock by Jewell. He's got to cut the corner on Schultz. Tries to go behind. Too late. Too little, too late, gentlemen. That's the tempo that Jewell needed, with 57 seconds to go in the match. That's when you got to start that tempo. He had a couple opportunities to score points there, and he didn't get the job done, and he's going to suffer a very hard 1-0 loss.
Yeah,
That's
and
a tough one.
that is a tough one, and that one you're going to think about a little bit when you moving forward here. The dual meet's still tied up 15-15, but that's definitely one of those you're going to be thinking about as you move forward. I was that close to winning that match, but taking a look at those two in the tournament, they are on opposite sides of the bracket. As Schultz is, no, they are not. They're on the same side of the bracket, but in a different quarterfinal.
That's a good thing, though. He got to see what he was going to do against the number 1 ranked guy in the state, and now he gets the opportunity to wrestle him, hopefully on the front side of the state bracket, So he knows he's close. He knows he's got a chance there instead of getting blown out by, 8 points or something like that. He was close. He won 1-point match. Now he knows what he can expect for that front side bout in the state tournament.
Well, you're exactly right. Well, we've got another match here with another really, really good match here with Nicholas Holt and Taylor Pettit. Pettit is a senior at 38-8, and Holt is a junior at 32-10. And Holt's got a nice 2-point takedown there. That's a nice job by Nick Holt. Got in on that double. Actually, was a single to start with, and then he cut across to a double and set Pettit on his left hip and then covered him up on the edge of the mat. Picked up 2, kept him in bounds enough to pick up the 2.
So Taylor Pettit, a state qualifier for Creston Orient Maxburg. He will take on Bo Sorensen of Forest City in the first round.
All right, there's a 1-point escape. 1-point escape by Taylor Pettit. And it's 2-1 now. Pettit comes with a standing front headlock on Holt. Standing front headlock on Holt. And Holt's going to square off and push Pettit away. And back to the center we go. 1:06 left to go in this first period. I like what Nick Holt was doing, tapping, and then looking for an angle. He's got to continue that momentum, continue that motion. Throw by attempt by Holt, and Pettit squares him off. Pettit very heavy from the waist up. Got some small, thin legs, but he's very heavy from the waist up. 47 seconds left, 2-1. Nick Holt leads. Again, huge match. This is the meat of the Mustangs lineup, and they've really got to do a nice job here to work on building that lead. It's tied up at 15-15. There's that single again by Holt. He's got the left leg of Pettit up. And Pettit with a nice down block now. Holt slides his head to the outside. He's going to cut across with a double. Let's see if he can step in and hit that Turk. He's going to step in and Turk Pettit. Keeps the Turk, now hard crossface. And Pettit's going to belly down, scissor his legs, and get out of the Turk. But that's a nice takedown, Zach.
Roger, that's a nice job of actually keeping your feet moving there in that situation. He got deep. He got stuck for a quick second there, but then he just kept moving. Holt did a nice job of creating angles there and getting around and getting that 2-point takedown.
Well, that's what it's all about. If you're going to win this dual meet and continue to advance, you've got to do everything correct. And that's what the Mustangs are trying to do right here. The winner of this duel will take on the winner of Union and Clear Lake. That is in the top of the bracket, and Jamie will have a score on that duel momentarily for us. Union up on Clear Lake 38-10. 38-10. So it appears that the winner of this duel will have Union LaPorte City. Alburnett up on Dyke New Hartford 28-3. All right, back to action we go. 1-point escape by Pettit as he chose down to start the second period. And once he got to his feet, Holt just gave him a quick shove, and we're going to wrestle this thing in neutral position. If you're just joining us, thank you very much for having breakfast at the Well. 2015 State Wrestling Tournament starts today here with the dual team tournaments. And we've got some outstanding matches going on in front of us right now, Class 1A and 2A. We'll have the big dogs coming in Class 3A in that next session. 1:13 left to go. Second period, neutral position we go. A lot of hand fighting taking place between Taylor Pettit. He's 38-8. That's a great season. Nick Holt is 32-10. And Holt with a couple of snaps on the head of Pettit trying to shoot that single. Pettit's kind of leading with his left leg, and Holt likes to shoot to that side. He's had a lot of success with it. 50 seconds left to go. Hard collar tie by Holt, retie by Pettit. Now Pettit's going to back away from Holt. There's a nice throw by attempt and a reshot by Nick Holt in deep. Going to go behind attempt on the counter by Pettit and off the edge of the mat. I sure like what Nick Holt's doing there, Zach, with the snap, and then go.
He's got a pretty good reactions and with his chain wrestling right there. You know, he's going from one move, like Jamie was talking about earlier, to the next move. And, you know, hopefully here in this match that'll continue to, you know, get him some points because he's doing a nice job of picking up the pace in chain wrestling.
Well, that's what it's going to take. You got two state qualifiers going at it in front of us. And I'm telling you what, we're seeing a lot of good wrestling in this opening round. Number 4, Independence against number 5, Creston Orient Maxburg in the state dual team wrestling tournament. 2 seconds left to go. Second period over. Holt clinging to a 4-2 lead. And our Independence coaches know something about Pettit that we don't. I don't think Nick Holt wanted to go underneath. I anticipate him being a legger of some sort because both coaches said you're going back to your feet. And as long and skinny as Pettit's legs are, I would anticipate him being a legger and a cross body ride. And Zach and Jamie, you've both wrestled good leggers, and they cause fits, even to the best of wrestlers.
Yeah, they're not fun to deal with when you're on bottom, I can tell you that. So, you know, the crab ride is one of the most difficult wrestling moves to get away from and get out of.
There's a nice takedown by Holt. He's going to pick up 2 on it, and a stand-up by Pettit off the edge of the mat. And Pettit's going to have to go back down. So good strategy there by the Mustang coaching staff, and a great shot by Nick Holt.
Well, right there, too, is Pettit kind of went after the do-or-die situation. He went for a throw a little bit too early in this match, and you know, Holt did a nice job of coming back and hitting that shot when he tried to go for that throw.
And 6-3, a 1-point escape by Pettit now. 3 takedowns for Holt, 3 escapes by Pettit. And 1:06 left to go. So Nick Holt doing a fine job here. There's a snap and spin attempt by Pettit on the shot by Holt. And off the edge of the mat they go, and they've got to go back to the center right in front of the score table in front of us. A shot on the whistle by Pettit, and Holt was ready for it. Again, he's doing a great job moving his feet. And you don't want to be a sitting target right here. 50 seconds left to go, 6-3. Again, our score is tied at 15-15. And Jamie, I think you said before we started last year when these two wrestled, it was a 1-point Independence win.
It was 29-28 in that dual meet last year. And I tell you what, came down to the last match of the duel. And I tell you what, the way we're going here, we're tied up after 7 matches. And, you know, it looks like we could be heading to the same direction, you know, coming down to the last match, and which would be a weight class 113.
But, yeah, that'll be you know, could be. There's a nice shot by Pettit. Nice shot by Pettit in deep on a single, and off the edge of the mat they go as Holt carries him off the edge with a whizzer. 13 seconds left. So Nick Holt, we're going to get warning now against Holt for backing out. There's a nice shot by Holt in deep on a double. Head's caught between the legs of Pettit, and our time's going to run out, and Nick Holt's going to pick up a very fine 6-3 win. Well, let's take a short time out, and we've got some great sponsors. So stay with us. We've got more wrestling action for you on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH.
And welcome back into the Wells Fargo Arena, the 2015 Iowa State Wrestling Dual Tournament, as we've got the Independence Mustangs leading Creston, Orion, Maxburg in this first duel. 18-15 is our score as we started at weight class 120. Mitch Evans from Independence with a fall. At 126, Seth House from Independence losing 7-3 in his match. At weight class 132, it was Drew Davis with a 7-5 overtime win over Wyatt Thompson. 138, Tanner Erickson Dale goes down by fall. At 145, Elliott Ryan loses to Joey Huntington 8-4. At 152, it was a Chase Straw fall in 2 minutes and 57 seconds. At weight class 160, Jake Jewell losing a very close 1-0 match against top-ranked Chase Schultz of Creston. And at 170, Nick Holt with a 6-3 win over Taylor Pettit as we move up to weight class 182. And for the Mustangs, it's going to be Logan Williams. And for Creston, it's going to be Jackson Mickelson, as Mickelson is is not a state qualifier for the Panthers.
Well, Jamie and Zach, you look at their records. Mickelson is 35-15. He's a sophomore. Williams is 23-14. He's a senior. So this is one of those toss-up matches. And for Independence to win this duel, they've got to win. This is one of those matches you've got to win. And, Williams is wrestling a very, very physical-looking Mickelson. Very short, very stocky for 182 pounds. And he looks very, very strong. 17 seconds left to go. Front headlock by Mickelson as Williams came in on a long shot. Williams now trying to attack that right leg of Mickelson, and Mickelson staying long with that front headlock. I'd like to see him hit a short drag. If Williams could hit a short drag out of this, the first period's going to end. First period's going to end, and it's going to be Williams' choice, and he's going to choose down. All right. There's the set. There's the second whistle. Sit out, turn in by Williams. Tight waist by Creston. Creston's done a good job, guys, controlling the hips of Independence when they're down. Independence go ahead, Jamie.
They have, and that's once they're down, they've done a great job of keeping that pressure forward and not letting the Mustangs, get their hips up or get their weight under or even get hand control for that matter. So, they've done a great job, and a lot of it is just that pressure forward, chop and pressure forward and break them down. It's been very, very simple technique that they've been working on top.
Yeah, they've had great success with it. Hard chop waist, driving that knee up the backside, chopping the arm, and keeping everything going forward, and it's caused the Independence Mustangs some fits. Nice stand up by Williams now. He got to his feet, and Mickelson's going to drive him off the edge of the mat.
That's why I think Coach Doyle a lot of times is telling, his wrestlers both up, because Creston is doing a very nice job of riding these guys out for a long period of time. A lot of energy is being used up trying to get away. So, that's something that Coach Doyle is continuing to see, and hopefully right here Williams can get out.
Well, here comes a nice sit out, turn in, stand up by Williams. He's going to split the hands of Mickelson. Mickelson's going to reach in and grab that single. And I waited till the last minute, then reached in and grabbed that single. And we're going to get warning against Mickelson for stalling. Now back trip by Mickelson, and Williams finds himself belly down once again on the edge of the mat. Mickelson pinches that left arm of Williams, and now referee's going to make him get off that left ankle. And now sit out, turn in, and that's a 1-point escape. Nice job that time. He had hand control. Williams had hand control, so Mickelson couldn't drop in on that single.
He had hand control, and he also got his hips out right there in that situation, which, eventually got him away. Before he was keeping his hips in and wasn't able to get that leg away.
And now Williams drops in on a single, tries to hit a Kelly off of it, and he's going to drive. He's going to drive Mickelson off the edge of the mat. So with 18 seconds left, and here's that bewitching time, 15 seconds are left. And if you've got a shot to score, you want to score. You don't want to give up any points here. So it's going to be Mickelson's choice in the third period. So 5 seconds left. Williams doing a nice job controlling wrists. There's a tap and go by Williams. Almost had a single. Just missed the right leg of Mickelson one more time. Williams hanging on to a 1-0 lead. We've seen some great matches here. Jamie, I guess if you're going to put 4 and 5 together, the wrestling, what we're seeing is two teams that are very, very evenly matched.
Well, it is. And, you look at some of these other duels that are done already, and one in Class 2A, one in Class 1A. It's just, that just goes to show how even this dual meet is with a 4 and a 5. And, we saw a couple of years ago when West Delaware was down here how it seemed like every one of their duels was the last duel that everybody had to stick around and watch. And we might see that here with Independence and Creston again.
Well, you might. Again, a lot of these matches go in the full 6. And, that's what it's all about when you see two quality teams put together here. Off the edge of the mat, Williams came in on a double underhook by Mickelson, and Mickelson tried to pancake Williams off the edge. So you got to keep those elbows in, guys, on those long double shots. 1:19 left, third period. 1-1 is our score. And again, the next takedown may win this match. Williams again trying to really work the head of Mickelson, but Mickelson is a very short, very stock, very compact wrestler. Williams now with the 2-on-1 Russian tie. I think there's a nice tap and go by Williams. He's in deep on a single. And once again, a hard down block by Mickelson. Now Williams thought about a over and under throw there. Thought it's about stepping in on a bear hug, but I think he thought there's a momentary lapse there where he thought, I'm not going to hit this. Probably a wise choice.
And I think that's what Mickelson's doing right now is he's just trying to wait for him to take that shot. There's a shot right there by Williams. He's got to finish here. Keep going.
Don't sit.
He's got the right leg of Mickelson up now. And again, that strength of Mickelson. That was a great shot by Williams. Got in deep. And Williams now trying to load up that over and under. What a great shot that was by Williams. And again, that just showed the strength of Mickelson. And this kid is put together. 21 seconds. We might have another overtime match brewing. 18 seconds. 1-1 on the scoreboard. Again, a very, very hotly contested match here. There's a shot by Williams. A go behind. 8 seconds. Zach, you called it. You got to stay up, Logan Williams. Stay up, and there's going to be a 2-point takedown. Look at the clock. 2 seconds left in the match. Mickelson picks up Williams and drops him to the mat and picks up a 3-1 win. Oh, boy, Zach McCool, that one hurts. That one hurts. And watch Coach Doyle's expression over there.
Roger, that's a tough one to take right there because Williams was the one that was, hitting all those shots after shot after shot, no stall call. Then all of a sudden, he takes one, Creston guy takes one shot and hits it, and that was it at the end of the period.
There was 8 seconds left. 8 seconds left. Mickelson gets in on a shot. With 2 seconds left, he picks up Williams and returns him to the mat for a 3-1 win. And that's going to, wow, that's a hurt. That's a tough one right there. That's two matches, close matches. And it's tied up now 18-18. And we're going to weight class 195. And this will not be a cakewalk for Matt McMillan. He's taking on Seth Matlin. He's 34-7. He's a state qualifier for Creston. He is a long, tall drink of water. So Matt McMillan will have his hands full here. And again, what's happening where Independence has been strong, Zach, Creston has found a way to match their strength, and they won a couple of matches. And where Creston has been strong, they've picked up some bonus points. So, this thing is still anybody's match. We're weight class 195. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 matches left. So it's still anybody's meat to win. Off the edge of the mat we go. 1 minute left to go in the first period. Matt McMillan and Seth Matlin, 34-7. The junior from Creston. So here we go back to work with 44 seconds. Again, collar tie, retie by both. Collar tie, retie by both wrestlers here. And McMillan, likes that throw by from his feet. We'll see if he can find something else that's going to work. See if he can find something else that's going to work offensively for him today. 22 seconds left to go. And spying around Don Bosco and Lisbon. Lisbon up 26-20. Alburnett, Dyke New Hartford 34-15 in favor of the Pirates. All right, 6 seconds left. Not much offense here by a couple of very, very good wrestlers, Zach and Jamie. 3 seconds left.
Yeah, in a state qualifier in Matt McMillan. And I'm going to check on Maitland, as Maitland at weight class 195 is a state qualifier. He's going to take on someone we saw last week, Roger, and Zach Lamphere from Oline in the first round.
Well, that should be a very entertaining match. Very entertaining match.
Yeah, a lot of offense, I'm sure.
A lot of offense in that match. Well, 1 point escape by McMillan. He gets to his feet, and he takes an early lead here, but we've seen these close matches. These close matches go Creston's way, and Independence needs to find a way to turn the tide here. Get a couple of those close matches on their side. 1:33 left to go. Second period, neutral position we go. Hard collar tie by McMillan, a retie by Maitland. McMillan trying to set up that throw by, and Maitland doing a nice job keeping away from it. .110 left to go. Second period, neutral position. Again, if you're just joining us, this is Class 2A, first round regional duels from the Well. Jamie Vasky, Zach McCool down here joining us for a weekend of fun, a weekend of excitement. And it's opened us up today with these duels. And Jamie, there's still some, you talked about it when you talked to Coach Doyle, there's still some, there's still a few coaches that don't like this format.
Well, there is, and that's, we've seen coaches in a way boycott these state duels by not wrestling their starters, and the state has not flinched one bit. They haven't changed anything. So I think it's this is the way it is, and it seems like that's the way it's going to stay for a little while.
Well, and you and I both enjoyed this format. We've seen it. We've seen some teams that wrestle here today just go right into the tournament and wrestle lights out, and it's a good way to open up the weekend, and that's just kind of the way we feel about it. I'm in favor of it. I like it. You get people here, you get people to stay for the weekend, and we've got a great crowd for 9 o'clock on a Wednesday morning. 4 seconds left to go, and we're going to go to the third period with Matt McMillan hanging on to a 1-0 lead.
Well, Roger and Jamie, you sit there and think, some of these coaches are boycotting it because of the fact that they think their kids against the state qualifiers are going to get hurt. Well, they could have got hurt in sectionals. They could have got hurt in districts. They could get hurt walking across the street. So, I mean, that's the thing that you got to continue to think about is, it might be just a freak accident that happens in a wrestling match. They've been wrestling 54 matches throughout the year. What's one more that's going to happen, and it's going to help them get ready for the state tournament, get underneath these lights and these fans, and be ready to go.
Sometimes people get hurt being too careful.
This is the truth. All right, McMillan up on top, 1:38. We're underway, third period. McMillan doing a great job controlling the hips of Maitland. Now a hard chop by McMillan. Inside wrist on the right. Inside wrist on the left now by McMillan. McMillan trying to set up a chicken wing on the left. He's got Maitland belly down in the center of the mat, trying to scoop that left arm into a chicken wing. And we'll see if he can dump Maitland to his back for some bonus points here. Maitland doing a nice job. Now Maitland to his feet. There's a 1 point escape. 1 point escape. It's now 1 up. This is we've seen these close matches, and at some point Independence has to find a way to win a close match. And Jamie and Zach were in the same position we just saw in that last match, 1-1, 54 seconds left. You got to work your conditioning right here, and you got to push the tempo.
Roger, what are they right now? 0-2 is the match is tied in the third period here, so they got to reverse this here and get one win that's close in the third period.
Well, 41 seconds left to go, and I'm not sure who's going to want to take the first move. There's a snap down by McMillan. He attacks that right leg of Maitland, and Maitland pulls him off the edge of the mat, so we got to go right back to the center. That's a good job by McMillan. He finally went to the head and really did a nice job snapping it down. Again, stay heavy on that head, Matt McMillan. Keep working that head, and that's going to open up that single. There's a short arm drag by McMillan. 25 seconds left to go, third period. Maitland has not taken one shot. It's been all Matt McMillan.
The other thing that you're noticing, too, is Creston's, continuing to wrestling to the edge of the mats, just in case they do get in some trouble. They're close. When Independent's been in trouble, they've always been in the middle of the mat. So, Creston, I think, is doing a nice job of getting where they need to be on the mat.
There's a short arm drag by McMillan trying to make that work, but we're going to overtime. Third overtime match. Third overtime match that we're going to see, and they're 1-1, I believe. Independence is 1-1, and
Was that overtime, that last match?
no,
that was
Just
our second
this
overtime?
is our second.
Okay, our second overtime. We thought it was going to go to overtime.
Yeah,
We were hoping it would have went to overtime. I liked Williams' chances in overtime. There's a shot by Maitland. The first shot he's taken, and he's in deep on McMillan. McMillan's going to have to counter, and there's a 2-point takedown by Maitland. Going to win it in overtime. First shot, he took the whole match. Seth Maitland was going to win this 3-1. And I'm telling you what, that's the third close one. If Creston wins this duel, guys, the whole key to that, they've won every close match so far.
And they have. Yeah, well, Drew Davis got the overtime win. Drew Davis got that overtime win earlier, but ever since then, it's really gone against the Mustangs here as they trail now 21-18. The team score as we move up to weight class 220.
And that's it'll
be Jason Grover for Independence.
I'm anticipating this is going to be Caden Hewlett for Creston as he's 37-8. And he's out early with a 2-point takedown on Grover.
And he is also a state qualifier for Creston.
1-9. Creston has 9 state qualifiers, 7 district champs, and 2 runners-up. So maybe Creston thinks this is the year for them. Again, the winner of this will take on Union as a Union dump Clear Lake. So, those close matches, those are swing matches, gentlemen. And again, in a duel as tight as this is, they've got to go. Those are just tough ones to lose. I'll just put it that way. They're just tough ones to lose.
I was wrong. They're 1-3 in close matches today instead of 0-3. So, they did get that one overtime win, but, that's never good on those swing matches where they feel like they're a little bit favored, maybe in a few, maybe, not favored in another one, but wrestle close. They really have to continue to win those swing matches, and unfortunately, that's not what Independence has done today.
Well, Caden Hewlett is a sophomore. He's 37-8. Jason Grover is a senior at 27-16. If you're Jason Grover, this is your state meet here, guys. And you're not going to wrestle the rest of the weekend. You got 3 matches left in your career. You really just got to give it up. I'll tell you what, Hewlett is tough on top. He's got a cross body ride with the left, hard cross face. Cross body ride, cross face. He's got Grover on his back. Referee down looking for the fall. He's not going to get the fall as Grover's doing a nice job keeping that left shoulder up, but he's going to pick up 3 near fall with that cross body ride. 24 seconds left to go. Score is 5-0 in favor of Caden Hewlett. Keeps that cross body ride in. Now reaches across and grabs the right arm of Grover, trying to set up the guillotine. And Grover's got to be very careful here. You don't want to get launched to your back with 9 seconds left. Referee looking close as Hewlett's moving that left arm, trying to take that left arm over his head, and that's going to do it. Jason Grover's got to do a good job of keeping hand control, keeping your hips in good position, and kind of see what happens. Don Bosco ahead of Lisbon, 29-26. Again, that's a 4 against 5. And they are at weight class 106, so they've only got a couple matches left. And Bosco's going to go ahead by 6 more. It's going to be 35-26. All right. Grover now trying to hit a reversal on the whistle as he stands up and then drops in on a single. And Hewlett is going to crowd him. That's going to be Hewlett picking up the 2-point reversal off of it, as Grover tried to counter the stand-up of Hewlett by dropping in on a single, and Hewlett crowded the hips of Grover and just covered him up. And Grover had to go that direction or he would have got thrown to his back. Now banana split by Hewlett. He's got a crossbody right in on the right, and he reaches through and grabs that left leg of Jason Grover. He's trying to set the banana split up, and Grover quickly goes hip down, stretches out his legs, and breaks the grip of Hewlett. Now Hewlett's going to cut Grover loose, so now it's 7-1.
Grover's got to get going here, down 7-1, and that's a great way to start it as he dove in on a double leg. They're off the edge of the mat, but those are the kind of shots that Grover's going to have to hit here if he wants to get back in this match and have any chance of coming back and helping the Mustangs here, because right now it's 21-18 in favor of Creston, and Creston's going to be favored in the next couple matches. So they're going to have to. The Mustangs are going to have to get a match back here after losing a couple tight ones.
Well, there's an elbow pass to a cross knee pick by Hewlett, and he picks up a 2-point takedown. So he now goes up 9-1. He's working on a major decision with 21 seconds left to go in the second period. Now he's going to cut Grover loose. And guys, right now it appears that you look at the Independence bench, you see that body language. Looks like that McMillan loss is kind of taking some of the wind out of the Mustang sail right there, so to speak.
Well, it is, and and I think, they know that they're gonna need a big win, and I think Jason Grover right here would that'd be a heck of a way to do it, is if he could come out here and get a big win for him and try to just turn the tides a little bit, because that's what it's going to take here.
Well, he's got a great cradle, but he hasn't had the opportunity to use it because Hewlett won't let him on top. It's Hewlett's choice. He's going to take neutral to start the third period. So Jason Grover has to find a takedown that's going to work and then get an opportunity to work that cradle on top. There's a stamp by Hewlett. Stamped Grover's head to the mat. Front headlock, standing front headlock by Hewlett. Now he stamps Grover down to the mat. Grover now in on a single. He's got the left leg of Hewlett picked up. Let's see if he can finish it. He's going to try to limp arm out of it. Now he's behind Hewlett. Let's see if he can pick him up. He's going to try to back trip Hewlett. And misses the leg on the back trip. And Hewlett crowds into Grover. Could be a fall, and there's a fall. What a swing right there, as Grover was in great position. And he couldn't finish that go behind. He couldn't lift and return Hewlett. He tried to back leg. Hewlett crowds into Grover, throws him to his back and pins him. So that might have been the dagger right there, gentlemen. Don't want to say it because there's matches left, but
there is, and Creston's going to be favored here as they've got a state qualifier. As Independence is going to send, see who they send out here. If it's going to be Bowers or
check it out.
Do they just have Bowers listed here today, or
they just have Brett Bowers listed?
Okay, I didn't know if they had Rathman in there or not, but we're going to see Bowers taking on a state qualifier for Creston, as that heavyweight state qualifier is Jake Gritchenritter, who's a senior at 41-10.
Well, Jamie, the scary thing about this Creston lineup is 12 out of their 14 are underclassmen. They've only got 2 seniors in their starting lineup. So Katie barred the door. They're setting up for quite a team to have next year. You're looking at their top kids. Gutchenritter is a senior, and then you've got to go all the way down to Taylor Pettit. The only 2 seniors out of the, Spencer Ray is a senior, snuck in there. So they've got 3 out of the 14 are seniors. They've got 11 underclassmen. So tell you what, the cupboard is not bare at all at Creston. Coach Frayne, Daryl Frayne, has been there a long time, and he's done an outstanding job. He's kind of controlled that South Central, that Southwest 2A wrestling in Central Iowa there, South Central, Central Iowa. All right, heavyweights we go, 285. Guchenritter and Bowers. Bowers 9-4. Guchenritter at 39-10. Again, a very well put together heavyweight for Creston. Very heavy legged, heavy hipped, wide shoulders, barrel chested heavyweight. Looks very powerful. Tries to shoot in on a double on Bowers, and Bowers backed up a couple of steps and snapped his head down. So no takedown by Guchenritter. But there's some of that explosiveness that you kind of see with that body type that he's got. Alburnett and Dyke New Hartford 34-30, gentlemen, in the last match. Ben Moyer and Jacob Siegler. Moyer 36-8, a state qualifier for Alburnett, and he's got a shot to win it for the Pirates.
He's up 12-2 now, so it looks like Alburnett's going to advance.
All right. First period over. Bowers 0, Guchenritter 0. And it's going to be Bowers' choice to start the second period, and he's going to choose down. He's going to put all that weight of Guchenritter on top of him. So, Zach, he's got some work. Bowers has some work to do. Again, we're seeing that tight waist by Creston.
Just a lot of pressure on their shoulders, keeping their head down to the mat, getting some stall calls and things like that, even though, the Independence wrestlers can't do much. They're out to the side with, tough rides right now. So that's something that, Creston's done a nice job of.
They've done a super job of controlling the hips of the Mustangs. And now a nice job by Bowers. He gets to his feet, and Guchenritter is going to cut him loose. So we're going to neutral again, 1-0 lead. We've seen this in several of the matches today where Independence will take a 1-0 lead, and then Creston will get the one back, and then Creston finds a way to win the close match. And 3 of those close matches, 3 out of the 4 have gone the way of the Panthers. So 3-6-9, 18-point swing. There's a high crotch by Guchenritter. Bowers does a nice job shoving him free. So we get that questionable call in overtime, Jamie. That could have been 3 more for the Mustangs. And then you look at those close matches. They went Creston's way. They picked up 9 out of it. You put those 9 on the Mustang side, and all of a sudden you've got you're looking at 12 possible points.
And I think right now I say Brett Bowers. He's right in this match. He's down 1-0. He tried throwing a headlock there. He does that in the middle of the match, and it'd get pretty interesting to see what would happen there as he came out on top, but they went out of bounds. But, the Mustangs really need something right now to spark some life into that bench and to get themselves mentally back into this duel.
Well, you're right, Jamie. 16 seconds left to go. We'll see if Brett Bowers can find something that's going to work. He's got to create some pressure. It's going to be Guchenritter's choice to start the third period, and he's going to choose down. That's going to be the end of the second period. Guchenritter will choose down. And Bowers will ride the top.
You do need to go to Hy-Vee Hall for pictures. Winning teams from this round should report to Hy-Vee Hall for pictures.
Let's check. He's going to ride the left side. He's going to work a spiral ride, and there's going to be an escape by Guchenritter. So here we go again, Zach. 1-0 going to the third, 1-1 going to the third period. Don Bosco ahead of Lisbon 35-26. It appears that Don Bosco will win that duel. 38-26, Don Bosco. So, Jamie, your prediction was right. With a couple matches left, everybody else will be able to watch this 2A match finish. Independence and Creston going at it. And the Mustangs have had a little bit to cheer about, but lately not a lot to cheer about. So we're hoping they can find a spark, and they're hoping Brett Bowers can be that spark. They're still they're still in this duel. Well, mathematically, there's this match, 106 and 113 left. There's a possibility of 18 points. You can still score 18. A couple of falls, a couple of falls and a win, you can score 15 and win 33-27. But you know what? The way Creston's wrestling here, it's been very hard to, in most cases, to put them on their back. 41 seconds, third period. A lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. Bowers has to sense some urgency right here. And up to this point, I don't see any urgency being sensed at all, Zach.
No, absolutely. You know, not that when they're out there, they're just kind of square. You know, that's what we're talking about with Independence Mustangs is late in these matches, you want to see some pace, see some, you know, their feet moving out there, and it's just not going right now.
All right, here we go. 17 seconds. Here's that bewitching hour. We may be to overtime again, unless 8 seconds left to go. Gucci-Ritter, I don't think, is going to take a shot. And I know Bowers will not take a shot, so we will go to overtime. Third overtime match. Independence is 1-1. Creston is 1-1. And we'll see if the Mustangs can get through this one. It's again sudden death, 1 minute on the clock. There's our whistle. Gucci-Ritter immediately comes out to a hard collar tie and gives the head of Bowers a couple of shakes. And Bowers now with the retie. I'm not sure what their go-to moves are right now. Zach, looks like maybe a throw by. You know, I'm really not sure what their go-to moves are. You know, neither guy has done a thing here, but neither guy has a stalling warning.
I'm pretty sure they're both looking to go into sudden victory, possibly. That's what I'm getting out of this match right now. So, you know, unless somebody slips and, you know, ends up falling to the ground and the other guy getting behind. But right now they're just tied up in the middle of the mat, not even moving. I mean, a little bit of sway back and forth, but that's about it.
And 3 seconds left to go, and here we go. And it's going to be Bauer's choice. He's going to go down. You got 30 seconds now. I got to score. 30 seconds, you have to score. Or if you don't score, you got to ride. You got to switch positions the next period, and you got to force a ride out. There's that hard chop, tight waist by Gucci-Ritter as he's got Bowers. Had Bowers momentarily chest down. 20 seconds left to go. Gucci-Ritter just on top, holding on. Bowers has to get his inside leg up. He's got to get that hand off his tight waist. And now we're going to get stalling against Gucci-Ritter for hanging on. All right. 10 seconds left to go. I'm telling you what, Brett Bowers, you got to score one here. Came with an outside stand-up and a chop again by Gucci-Ritter. Has Bowers down once again. And here we go, third period. Or the
third overtime.
Actually, it's the third overtime. Gucci-Ritter's choice. You got to ride him. You got to keep him down. Got the Mustang fans down there cheering for their young man. There's a stand-up by Gucci-Ritter. Gucci-Ritter's going to split the hands. It's not going to be over here. Okay, still time to wrestle. There's another quick whistle by our officials, guys. You got to let them keep wrestling.
Yeah, I think the wrestler stopped, and so he blew the whistle. But they got to, if you're Brett Bowers here, you got to get a takedown.
Or a warning, you got to push it here. You got 10 seconds. You got to push it. Gucci-Ritter's been warned for stalling. You got to push the tempo. There's a shot by Bowers, and Gucci-Ritter's going to hit a go behind. That's going to do it. Creston will win another close match. We'll win the second overtime match. And with 2 matches left to go, they will add to their lead here.
Going to make the score 30-18 now in favor of Creston as we move up to weight class 106. Again, after this duel, we will do a recap of this duel and get you ready for the next duel. As I guess right now the Mustangs need 2 pins in order to tie this thing. So we still don't know when the Mustangs are going to wrestle, whether it's going to be at weight class or if they're going to wrestle right away at 11 or if they'll be at 1 o'clock. But right now the Mustangs trailing 30-18 as we move up to weight class 106. We got Jarrett Orr for Independence taking on Kelby Luther, the freshman from Creston.
Yeah, and he's 25-18, Jamie, so no slouch. Jarrett Orr is 28-20. So you got a couple of guys. Here's another one of those even Steven matches where you got a couple of good freshmen going at it. And again, the tail of this tape is going to be that Independence won one of the close matches. Again, still not mathematically out of it. 2 falls, and this thing is tied, and then it goes to criteria. And I think wins is the first criteria. And I think Creston would hold that criteria, I believe. All right, off the edge of the mat they go as Kelby Luther shoots in on a double and knee drives Orr to the edge. So we got to go back to the center. Orr doing a nice job bobbing and weaving. Jamie, on my bracket, I checked that up, and it looks like the consolation match is going to be on mat number 7 at 11 a.m.
Yep.
So that'll be right. That'll be kitty corner to us, and they'll be taking on Clear Lake unless something happens here. Orr can get the Mustangs back in this thing. You know, and again, if you're
it's gonna be a long week. if we're gonna have to be sharing the mouse pad over here, fighting with each other on who gets to use it.
Well, now you gave me mine own, and I'm trying to use it, and now you're not letting me use it. 2-point takedown by Luther, and he's got Jarrett Orr in trouble. He's got a tilt locked up with a tight waist on the left and a chicken wing on the right and a tilt, and he picked up a 2-point near fall. He's still got the chicken wing on the right side of Jarrett Orr. He picked up 3 near fall as the period expires. So Kelby Luther will take a 5-0 lead into that next period, into the second period. And we're going to go neutral to start this second period. So a nice takedown by Luther and a tilt off that tight waist. And there, Jarrett Orr, I like what he's doing. He's working the head, but again, Zach, he snapped the head. He snapped Luther right into his legs.
Yeah, you know, when you're snapping, you got to create angles there, and right there, he did not.
And he paid for it right there as Luther came right into the leg, climbed the body, drove Orr to his backside and right to his back, and picked up another 2-point near fall as Orr rolled through. But now it's quickly 9-0 with 1:25 left to go in the second period. So the freshman from Independence has some work to do. Independence with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seniors in their lineup. We will probably see Taylor Wolfcool for Independence, and we'll be anxious to see who Creston sends out. Could be Jacob Goodson. He's a sophomore, 21-16, or Garrett Dahl, and we don't have his record in our program, so we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, Kelby Luther's got a chicken wing again on Orr. He's trying to tilt Orr to the right side, having a lot of success with it. Again, Zach, look what Creston's doing to Orr's hips. Tight waist, controlling the hips, and having a lot of success.
You know, it's the same thing for each wrestler here from Creston. You know, they do a nice job with their head on top of the Independence wrestler's head with the pressure on their top of their shoulders there, and they're doing a nice job of just getting that head down. Not necessarily trying to work positioning and moves for pinning combinations, but they're just doing a nice job of tiring them out, and that obviously is affecting the Independence Mustangs at the end of these matches.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's nothing like somebody that can ride a tight waist, because that just takes, you know, you can't breathe. It takes everything out of you, and if you can combine that with a tilt and control an inside wrist or arm, you've got a great offensive ride. You can score some points, and plus it, like Zach said, it takes it out of you. It really takes it out of you. And by the third period, man, you are gassed. All right, back to action we go. We're going to finish this match in neutral. And so far it's been Kelby Luther having the advantage in neutral. Jarrett Orr has not found a way to penetrate that long, lanky body of the freshman Panther from Creston. There's a Kelly by Kelby as he dropped in. And now he's got Jared Orr posted on his right hip. And now he climbs the body, picks up a 2-point takedown. And right back to work he goes. Tight waist with the right, chicken wing with the left. And he increases his lead by 2. It's now 11-0 with 1:16 left to go in this match. Again, any kind of a win at all by Luther, and the Mustangs will be out of it. The Coach Doyle looking over his lineup there, and he may already be thinking ahead of what he's going to have to do to beat Clear Lake. Clear Lake was beaten by Union, so Independence looks like that will set up a 4 versus 8 as Clear Lake came in as the 8th seed. There's a tilt again by Luther, the freshman from Creston, as he picks up another 2, a quick 2 on the edge of the mat. A high bridge by Orr. He bridges himself off, and that's going to give us a restart back to the center. After Jared Orr, guys, to your feet, and a throw of some sort.
Start launching.
You've got to get to your feet, though. And Independence has been coming with an outside stand-up, and that's made it easy for that tight waist. Tight waist on the left, chop with the right, and driving the Mustangs back down to the mat and making it very, very difficult for them to score any points. It's 13-0, Jared Orr. Hey, he's 28-20. He's a very, very fine freshman, 106-pounder, but he's being tied into a knot right now by the freshman from Creston, Kelby Luther, 13-0, and 4 seconds left to go. Luther's got a chicken wing on the right side, locked back up. It's going to be a major decision. Major decision by Luther, and that's going to salt it away for Creston. That will give them 4 points. So it's going to be 34-18 with 1 match left. And I believe that is Wolfcool.
Yeah.
For Independence. And we'll see who Creston sends out. See if they send out the freshman Garrett Dahl or if they send out the sophomore Jacob Goodson. We'll check the skinny on that when it comes up on our track wrestling screen. Again, stay with us. We'll have another match here coming up. We'll take a short break. Jamie will have a quick recap of this match, and then we'll take a short break, and then we'll be back at around 11 o'clock for the second match. It'll be Independence and Clear Lake, and then there'll be a short break after that, a little bit longer break after that before they get to that 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th place match. They do wrestle all the way out to 7th and 8th. So you're guaranteed 3 duels, and it's all about gaining experience.
Another nice thing for these state dual participants here too is, get something to eat a little bit after you get that first weigh-in in if you're making the state wrestling tournament, and basically able to work some off here. These wrestling matches are something to lose the best amount of weight after getting some food in you and keeping your weight down for your next weigh-in. So that's another advantage some of these guys got is you can't, do this like practice what they're doing out here and all the energy they're taking out and some of that food weight out right here wrestling 3 duels.
Yeah, that's a good thing for him. There's a nice snap and spin by Wolfcool, but off the edge of the mat, no points. Taylor Wolfcool, a senior, and he'll be wearing that maroon and white Independence singlet for the last time today. So trying to score some points. It's been a long drought. The last points were scored at weight class 170 by the Mustangs. That was Nick Holt with a win at 170. So it's been a bit of a drought here. And Taylor Wolfcool would like to finish up the day, finish up this first duel with a win. But standing in his way is a very fine sophomore, Jacob Goodson. 24-18, not a state qualifier, but good wrestler nonetheless. Snap and spin, front headlock, and push away by Wolfcool. Back to our feet we go. 9 seconds left to go in the first period. There's a sweep single attempt by Wolfcool. He's going to try to hit a far side Kelly, and he does. He covers the hips up. Let's see if he can pick up 2. Finally, Zach McCool. Finally, the Mustangs will pick up points at the end of the period that are huge.
It's a nice job right there. That that picks up his confidence for the rest of the match there. Also, that's the first points at the end of a match for one of the Independence wrestlers wrestling all the way until the whistle.
They just stayed with it, got in deep on that shot. Now he's going to try to set up a crossface cradle. Hard crossface by Wolfcool from the left to the right. And he's draped over the top of Goodson. Let's see if he can latch on. Wolfcool is very tall, lanky, 113-pounder. Let's see if he can latch on to Goodson and toss him to his back using that cradle. He's got a cross body right in right now. He's over the top, and we're going to get a quick, what are we going to get? Was that a figure 4? No, that's going to be 1 point for Wolfcool as he pulls the thumb. As Goodson pulls the thumb of Wolfcool, trying to get it out. There's a Granby roll by Goodson. He's going to pick up a 2-point reversal. Nice Granby roll by the sophomore. Got his heels out, got his ankles out, hit that Granby roll, and he covered up Wolfcool for a 2-point reversal.
So it's going to make the score now 3-2. Minute 10 left to go in the second period. As we got a second here, remind you that our state wrestling coverage, state dual coverage here from KMCH, brought to you by Crop Production Services in Winthrop, East Buchanan Telephone Cooperative, also by Mosier Family Pharmacy, Pets Allowed in Independence, and Wapsie Valley Creamery. Thanks for supporting this coverage of the Independence Mustangs here at the state duels, the 2015 state duels. The Mustangs are going to lose this first duel, unfortunately, as currently the score is 34-18. They will take on Clear Lake in the next duel as on the consolation round, so that will be right away at 11 o'clock as they will take on Clear Lake, and then the Mustangs will wrestle again at 4:30. So that will be for either 5th and 6th place or 7th and 8th place.
Well, hopefully 5th and 6th place, Jamie, but Clear Lake's got some tough kids in their lineup also. Now, they ran into top-ranked Union, to start their tournament out. So they've got some salve on their wounds also. So this next duel, we'll see who's going to be able to come out the quickest and get on top early. Nice 1-point stand-up by Wolfcool. He takes the lead now 5-4 with 21 seconds left to go in the second period. There's a tap and go by Wolfcool trying to set up that Kelly again. He's in deep. He's in deep on Goodson, and Goodson with the front headlock. Now Goodson with the snap and spin. Goodson might have a 2-point takedown as Wolfcool's trying to square him off, and Goodson's going to cover the hips of Wolfcool, and he got 2, boys. 2 seconds left again.
That's because you were bragging about the last one. When the Mustangs finally got one at the end of the period, you jinxed it, and they gave up one late in the end of the period again.
It's all about knowing the time, knowing the situation. But it's all about, you got to give Creston credit also for wrestling till the whistle. And, and you get in the practice room, and that's what you're constantly talking about. Short sit by Wolfcool, snap back by Goodson. He's picking up some back points right now. Wolfcool came to a short sit out, got himself extended, and Goodson went over the top of the right arm of Wolfcool and then grabbed his chin and snapped him back. And it's going to be at least a 3-point near fall by Goodson. Might be more as he gathers himself now. A reverse half Nelson by Goodson. He's got Wolfcool on his back. So this match went from a very, very close match with Wolfcool having a shot to win it to Goodson taking control. And Goodson now trying to end it with a fall. 1:09 left to go in this match, in this duel. Goodson trying to tee out. Wolfcool doing a nice job trying to keep his right shoulder up, and he's going to go belly down, but not out of trouble yet. And now there's a 3-point near fall. So it's going to be 9-5 in favor of Jacob Goodson, the sophomore from Creston, over the senior from Independence, Taylor Wolfcool. 38 seconds left to go. Again, Independence wrestling some great matches, but just not getting over the hump in those close toss-up matches. And that's going to be the difference in this match. 21 seconds left to go, 9-5 in favor of Goodson from Creston. Inside wrist now by Goodson. We're going to get stalling against Goodson. As he's,
Where's that been?
I don't know. We saw it early and often about the first 6 matches, and then we have not seen it on a consistent basis these last couple of matches. It's been a long time, Jamie, since we've had almost a 2-hour duel. But again, you've got 2 evenly matched teams. You know, you wrestle this match tomorrow, and all those close matches might go Independent's way. You know, again, 2 evenly matched teams here. And Creston's going to win this match right here, 9-5. And they will advance. Independence will wrestle in that consolation as he's going to shake hands now. Let's take a short time out. Jamie's going to add up all of his facts and figures this morning. He'll have a recap for you. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. You've been listening to Hold by Hold Wrestling Action from the 2015 State Wrestling Tournament on Eastern Iowa Sports Station, Mix 94.7 KMCH.
Welcome back into the Wells Fargo Arena. Jamie Vaskey, Roger Reed, and Zach McCool back along with you as the Independence Mustangs finish up their first duel of the day as they lose the duel 37-18 against Creston Orient Maxburg in the duel, as that was a quarterfinal round duel. We started at weight class 120. It was Mitch Evans from Independence with a fall over Trevor Marlin of Creston in 1 minute and 11 seconds. That put the Mustangs up 6-0. At weight class 126, Seth House from Independence losing a 7-3 match against Mitchell Swank from Creston. That made it 6-3 Mustangs. 132, Drew Davis with a 7-5 overtime win over Wyatt Thompson. 2 state qualifiers going at it there, and Davis getting the 7-5 overtime win. At weight class 138, Spencer Ray from Creston with a fall over Tanner Erickson Dale in 5 minutes and 33 seconds. That knotted the duel up at 9. At 145, Elliott Ryan losing an 8-4 match against Joey Huntington. That made it 12-9 in favor of Creston. At weight class 152, it was Chase Straw of Independence with a fall in 2 minutes and 57 seconds over Cameron Leith. At 160, it was a top 10 matchup as number 1 ranked Chase Schultz from Creston with a 1-0 win over 4th ranked Jake Jewell from Independence. That tied it up at 15. As we move to weight class 170, Nick Holt with a 6-3 win over Taylor Pettit of Creston. That made it 18-15. And at 182, Logan Williams from Independence losing 3-1 to Jackson Nicholson. And again, our dual meet was tied this time at 18. So weight class 195, Seth Maitland from Creston with a 3-1 overtime win as he got a takedown, the first takedown of the match over Matt McMillan of Independence. That made it 21-18, and the Mustangs did not score again as 220. It was Jason Grover losing by fall in 4 minutes and 48 seconds to Caden Hewlett. At heavyweight, it was a 4-1 win by Jake Guchenritter over Brett Bowers from Independence. At 106, it was Kelby Luther with a 13-0 major decision over Jarrett Orr for the Mustangs. That made it 34-18. And our final match, it was Jacob Goodson from Creston with a 9-5 win over Taylor Wolfcool of Independence, making our final team score 37-18 in favor of Creston Orient Maxburg. Some match totals: 1 major decision for Creston, 0 for Independence. No tech falls by either team. Takedowns: Creston had 26, Independence with just 10. Both teams had 2 falls, and Creston again winning 10 matches. Independence just winning 4. And you talk about them close matches, guys, and you take some of those 1-point or 2-point matches away, and that dual meet gets a little bit closer. Plus a win, Davis catching Wyatt Thompson on his back. That could have been a different dual meet.
Well, you're right, Jamie. And we talked about that. Those 3 close matches. That's an 18-point swing. Plus you get an inadvertent whistle, and then you don't get the fall. That's a 21-point swing in favor of the Mustangs. And then all of a sudden, instead of wrestling right now, you're wrestling on the front side of the bracket and you're taking on Union.
Absolutely. Well, the Mustangs are going to take on Clear Lake here in just a little bit as they're making the announcements for the 2 teams. Clear Lake, these 2 teams have wrestled this year as Independence won that duel 44-27. Overall, these 2 teams have wrestled 13 times. This will be the 14th meeting, as their first meeting was in the 1996-1997 season. In that 97 season, Independence won the state dual title. So that's where it dates back to. Independence holds the overall record over Clear Lake 7-6 as we get ready for our 14th matchup here between these 2 teams. We're going to take another quick break and come back with the duel right after this. You're listening to state wrestling coverage, state dual coverage on Mix 94.7 KMCH.